El Camino Olive Trail is brought to you in part by Farmers Insurance.
I'm Professor Nathaniel Burke, and I'm here to talk to you about the opportunity of a lifetime. Did you know farmers agents have been insuring families since 1928? That's more than 8 decades of quality service. We're one of the largest insurers in the country, with more than 15,000 agents covering over 20 million policies. And since we plan to keep on growing, there are no limits to your wildest dreams.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
And by Raul Malo, featuring his CD, Sinners and Saints. And by Dan Crary, featuring his new CD, Dan Crary and Thunderation, Perfect Storm. And by Pepe Gambetta and Carlo Alonso, featuring the Serenata CD. And by the generous support of the Texas Transportation Museum, located in San Antonio, Texas.
This is a story about people of vision. True Texas pioneers in a land of sun, drought, solitude, and broken dreams, just across the borderline. These are the elements that, according to Spanish folk traditions, create the ideal habitat for something that has been distinctly Mediterranean for millennia. But these elements are also found in abundance in South Texas. Near the US-Mexico border, where vaqueros once roamed freely, a new breed of Texan has carved out a niche in a place that, at first glance, gives one the sense of sun, drought, solitude, and broken dreams. But underneath this land lies a great aquifer, an underground lake 3 times the size of Connecticut, where a liquid gold that has illuminated history is planted, picked, and pressed. Olive oil. Like the pioneers who developed South Texas, the olive tree has an almost titanic resistance, an inner force which renders it nearly immortal. Despite harsh winters, burning summers, abuse and neglect, they continue to grow, with gnarly trunks and branches reaching proud and strong towards the sky, like the weathered face and hand of an old cowboy. And it bears fruit that inspires, nourishes, and heals the body. A few years ago, Texas olive pioneers Jim Henry, Jack Doherty, and a few others discovered that liquid gold could be gleaned from this South Texas land that was on the same geographic parallel as the Mediterranean. Olives could be grown in Texas.
Here is a crop that grows in Texas, and this is what Texans can make of olive oil.
Jim Henry's inspiration to plant olive trees in the winter garden came from seeing a few old olive trees that had been planted in the 1920s behind the historic Bell Asher Mansion in Asherton. Now, Jim's struggle and determination will manifest in a fall harvest of 400 tons of olives from 40,000 trees planted at his Texas Olive Ranch in Carrizo Springs. This inspired 95-year-old Paul Conley to plant an olive orchard on land in Asherton he's farmed since 1911.
I'm in hopes that the planting of these olive trees and the spending of money back in this country for agriculture will catch on and revive this whole country like it was back in the early days. I hope that some of these days soon that this country will revive, whether I'm around or not.
And motivated David and Beverly Anderson to try and produce olive oil on their farm in Dilley. Jerry Farrell is growing olive trees on his big ranch in Cotulla. And Dick and Susan Hansen are in the process of planting 140,000 olive trees in La Pryor along the historic Winter Garden rail lines. Olive trails tells the story of an endless source of wonder, the fountain of wealth and power, and one of the world's great commodities, olive oil. And it's about people that persevere against the odds, who, driven by a romantic notion, seek to revive this magic land.
There's a land, so I've been told, where every street is paved with gold, and it's just across the borderline. When it's time to take your turn, there's one lesson that you must learn. You could lose more than you'll ever hope to find. When you reach the broken promised land, and every dream slips through your hands, then you'll know that it's too late to change your mind, 'cause you paid